Hi, welcome to CNY Woman Knits and Crochets. I'm Mindy, otherwise known as Knitter CNY. That CNY stands for Central New York. I live in the Syracuse, New York area, right in the middle of New York State. You can find me as Knitter CNY on Instagram and on Ravelry. So if you have any questions about projects, you can always look there. I should give specifics there. I donate a lot of blankets to Project Linus, so you will see blankets in this podcast, but I do have some separate things. And then after the podcast, we're going to do a short WiP session. WiP is work in progress. So I'm going to sit with you and crochet for a little bit on a project that I started, I believe, yesterday. So yeah, it was yesterday. So I'm going to show you some stuff that I've finished and then go into a little bit of yarn acquisition, not much, and then we will go into the WiP session. So if you like what you see, please subscribe below. Welcome back if you're a subscriber. Welcome in if you are a new person just catching the podcast for the first time and is like, who is this woman? What does she do? Well, I knit and crochet. I've been knitting and crocheting for over 30 years. I started when I was in college. So I do both, but I tend to crochet a lot of blankets. So, but this first thing I'm going to show you looks like a robber's mask, but it is not. This is for a friend of mine who years ago I made a ski mask for because he snow blows his driveway. We get a lot of snow up here in New York State, especially upstate. And he had a Spider-Man mask that was about 15 years old. It's gotten lost or taken or something. We're not really sure. But he needed a new face mask to snow blow with. So I made this out of Patton's classic wool. It's 100% wool. It is, I used one ball and a little bit of a second ball. This was an old pattern that I have out of a book, and the book is, I deleted the nose hole because I think, as you can see, it sort of covers it, but it's not super tight. It has ribbing in the back, so it's very stretchy, and it has ribbing around the crown, so it's very stretchy there. The only part that's stockinette is the actual mask part, and then the top of it. And this is, I believe it's called dark gray mix. So I had a couple of skeins of that lying around, so that's what I used. The other thing I made, and the ends are not tucked in, not woven in, is a shawl. This is out of Lion Brand Homespun. It is knitted. It is the Easy Knit shawl from Lion Brand's website. If you've ever made the Grandma's Best dishcloth pattern, it's the first half of that pattern, because as you can see, there are little holes. I don't know if you can see it that well, but there's little holes on the side. That's where the yarn overs are. You knit one, you yarn over, you knit the rest of the row. So you're increasing one stitch every row. And I used 3 skeins of the colorway Painted Desert. And that you can get on Amazon. I believe it is $6.29 for one skein of that. That's where I got it because it was relatively inexpensive. I also made, and I used a size 7mm needle. That is an uncommon size. It's common in Europe. It's not common here. It's a 10.75 needle. And I started this before I went in the hospital for my surgery on September 17th. I finished it last week sometime and just dove right into the next project, which is another shawl. And the other shawl is out of 3 skeins of random homespun that I had. You can see there are 3 different colors here. One's a dark blue, one's like a green that has blue in it, and the blue that's in it matches the very top, which is kind of a cobalt blue, I would call that, I guess. I'm not really sure. This one is for my aunt. The other one is for my cousin's wife, who is helping take care of my uncle, who has dementia. So I wanted to make something for them because I am going to their house for Thanksgiving, and I may give that to them early. The next project is out of Bernat Wavelength. I used a size J hook for this. Normally for my corner to corner blankets I use a size K because I use Premier Puzzle for my corner to corner blankets, but Mary Maxim had a sale on Wavelength. It was $3.99 a ball, and Bernat Wavelength is 5 ounces, 140 grams, 223 yards, 204 meters. So I invested, and it is a number 5 bulky. I invested in 4 skeins of that, so about $16 for that. So a little cheaper than the Premier Puzzle when I buy 3 skeins. It came out a little smaller, but that's okay. I didn't use all 4 skeins. I used like 3.5 to make a 36 by 36 blanket. This color, and the size J hook that I used was a boy hook, B-O-Y-E, and that is a 5.75 millimeter hook. So this is what it looks like. You can kind of see all those colors, striping. That's why I use corner to corner, because it shows off the stripes extremely well. Really nicely. And this color is called Orange Soda Light. And then I liked it so much, and I had more in my stash from Mary Maxim, that I made another one. As you can tell, the ends are not woven in on these projects. Forgive me. I usually weave in my ends at the very end before I donate my stuff to Project Linus. This color, you can see this, the striping is very subtle. I'm kind of getting in the middle there because I've got natural sunlight and then I've got an overhead light on. This color is called Tanzanite. It's showing up kind of brown, but it's actually a purple color. You can kind of see that striping. And like I said, I used 4 skeins of that. I had to use a smaller hook to get the right size of square, so it wasn't loose, because they're baby blankets, so you don't want them loose. You don't want a kid to be able to poke their hand through them. I'm going to show you a little bit of yarn acquisition. There was a good sale. I had a little bit of money, so I decided to buy some yarn. The yarn I bought, some of it was from Mary Maxim. This is maybe a month ago, before I was unemployed, and it's just been sitting around, so I ordered this. I think it was on sale for $6.74 a skein, which isn't bad. Walmart sells these for $5.98 a skein, so it's not that bad. Normally, Premier sells them for $7.99 a skein. Premier Yarn Puzzle, 328 yards, 300 meters, 7 ounces, 200 grams. You can definitely see that is got some black in it, pink, aqua, lighter pink, like a cream color. This color is called Trivia, and I got 3 of those, so that's good. And then Joann had a sale, and they had all their mandala over the weekend on sale for $4.99 a cake. So I bought, I mean, not the bonus bundles. The bonus bundles were $12.74, And I had a 25% off coupon. So I bought 2 mandala babies. Really nice. It's a rainbow color, and it's called Rainbow Falls. The specs on this are 5.3 ounces, 150 grams, 590 yards, 540 meters. It is 100% acrylic. So I bought 2 of those. And I usually don't like to work with light yarns. So what I'm going to do is I think I got this when it was on sale at Lion Brand one time. It's called Pound of Love. The color is straw. They had these forever. They were putting them in mystery bundles, but I forget how much I paid for this. Probably $5 or something like that. And I'm going to pair it with the Rainbow Falls and use a thicker hook, probably a J hook or a K hook, and do a corner to corner blank so I can get these beautiful rainbow stripes in there. And that'll be nice. So we've gone through, like I said, $4.99 plus a 25% off coupon. So I couldn't resist. So I got the shawl done the other day. So yesterday. So I started a blanket, and it's a corner to corner blanket out of Premier Puzzle. We've already gone over the specs on that. This color is called Acrostic. It has blues, sort of an aqua blue color, and then like a creamy white color. And I'm most of the way through the skein. I have 3 skeins. I'll show you how this stripes up. Looks like this. If you hear noise in the background, there is a truck going through picking up branches from the neighbor's house from where they took down a tree and left. So if you hear a winch or an arm going over, that's what that noise is. Nothing I can do about it. So now we're going to work on a WiP session for a little while. So grab your WiP and crochet or knit with me for a while, or spin, whatever your little heart desires. And we can talk about some things. The first thing being is I will have some yarn purchases. I am not at liberty to divulge where the money came from. I can say it did not come from me. That's all I can say. So there will be some yarn purchases. They should be here in a couple of days, so I'll probably show them next week. It's nothing huge, but I will show them next week. So that's like very nice and unexpected. So I made, and I'm using a size K hook, which is a 6.5 millimeter hook. It's a boy ergonomic hook, and that's usually what I use on my Premier Puzzle blankets. I use 3 skeins. I make them a little bigger than 36 by 36. Usually they're 38 by 38 or so. And I usually have some left over. So at some point I will do a leftovers blanket with the remaining yarn from a lot of blankets. Because I think that would be kind of cute. It would be kind of rainbowy. But I've got to get through a bunch of yarn first. I have yarn enough for 6 blankets, and then I'll have 8 once the other Premier Puzzle gets here from Hirschner's. Hirschner's had a really good deal. They had a bag of 3 puzzle for $19.99, and then they had, I think it was $4.99 shipping, and it was expedited handling. So that's why it's coming so soon. Otherwise, I wouldn't have ordered it from Hirschner's because I didn't want to pay the extra shipping. But that was a pretty good deal. And then I got a skein of yarn. The mandala, like I said, was on sale, and there was a mandala bonus bundle that was $12.74. Maybe I have that. I don't have that here, but it's somewhere in the house. Hopefully I find it before next week. I just have yarn everywhere. If you could turn around and see this, you would see yarn everywhere. Totes of yarn, boxes of yarn, yarn in my closet, in my bedroom. A lot of it was bought, most of it was bought over the years, so I've developed a stash, and it was bought, you know, usually on sale or with a coupon, and it was bought when I was working. I am unemployed at the moment. I'm still looking for work. I'm on unemployment. I have an interview this afternoon. Then I have an online assessment that I have to do for a work from home job for a company. That would be very good money, but I don't know that I'm going to get it, but you never know. You can always try. I'm waiting to hear on second interviews about, about jobs. So we'll see if any of that comes to fruition. I have a meeting with the Labor Department on Friday that I'm going to in person, which should be just delightful, I'm sure. I'm also getting a pair of glasses on Friday because I found out the interim insurance that I have covers my glasses in full, so I immediately got on the phone with my eye doctor's glasses place who accepts the insurance and said, I need to get in. And he said, you want to come 9:15 on Friday? Yes, I do. Thank you very much. Because my appointment with the Labor Department is in the afternoon. So that'll be good. I'm applying to jobs. I'm going on interviews. I went on a couple interviews last week. I don't know how I did on them. I tried out for one job where I had to do an assessment online. I did not pass the assessment, so I am not getting that position. I did not anticipate passing the assessment, but I applied for it anyways because a friend works for that company and said, you should try out for it. You know stuff about computers and telecommunications. And when we got to the technical section, I knew some stuff, but I didn't know other stuff. So obviously that wasn't going to work out. Oh well, you do what you can. For those of you who don't know how to do corner to corner, there are plenty of tutorials on the internet, on YouTube specifically, of how to do corner to corner. I can't recommend anything to you because I used a couple of them and it was so long ago I don't remember which ones I used. I know Juan the Yarn Addict has one. Lion Brand has one. The only thing I would tell you is I do not, when I come back, when I do decreases, I slip stitch across the square to get to where I need to get to start the next square. I do not just chain 3 because it looks weird to me. Corner to corner, you will wind up with a square. And you can do it in a rectangular fashion. There are tutorials on how to make a rectangle blanket. I make a square blanket because my Project Linus chapter wants 36 by 36 blankets for baby blankets. And I can make, like a 36 by 36 or a 38 by 38 blanket out of Premier Puzzle or now the wavelength yarn, and it comes out beautifully. It comes out square. It's easy to do. It's very repetitive. You make a brick, and then you make another brick, and then you make another brick, and you keep doing the increases until you get to the point where you are ready, where it's the right width and height, and then you go back and you start doing decreases. And you do the decreases the same across all the rows. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And like I said, I like the Premier Puzzle because it's tested against 350 harmful substances. It has that Ocotec thing on it, saying it was tested against harmful substances, and it's acrylic, so you can throw it in the washer and the dryer. So that's why I like Premier Puzzle a lot, and it's inexpensive, you know. I don't like working in worsted weight. I like working in bulky and super bulky weight, but I don't want to use Bernat blanket or Bernat baby blanket, usually for baby blankets, because I think they're a little heavy. But I may end up having to do that with one of these because I only got 2 skeins of Bernat blanket in one of my orders from Joann's. They did not ever ship the 3rd and 4th skein. Normally I make my teenage or kid blankets out of Bernat blanket because it works up so fast, and I can use a size N hook or an M hook or an L hook depending on what pattern I use. There is a nice pattern for a ripple blanket that I've used a couple of times out of Bernat blanket, specifically Bernat blanket frosting. If you look up ripple blanket, Bernat blanket frosting, you'll come across the pattern. It has a really interesting first row as a setup row, so that the blanket doesn't curl or bow out at one end versus the other. It's a very unique construction. I've never seen it before in a ripple. So it works up very nicely. I think it uses an L hook, so it makes the Bernat blanket pretty tight, which is good for a baby blanket because you don't want little fingers and toes poking through and getting stuck. Nobody wants that. Can't think of what else to tell you. There's not much else going on. It's a beautiful day today. It's going to be up in the upper 70s today. So I will probably, after my assessment, go to the beach and take my crochet with me and sit and crochet for a little while on a park bench at the beach, because obviously it's too cold to go swimming because it's almost the end of October and there's no lifeguards at the beach, but people still use the beach to go walking, to walk their dogs. There's a playground there for little kids, and there's this beautiful park bench that's under a couple of trees, so it's in the shade. Not that I would mind being in the sun, but it's in the shade. And I went there yesterday for about an hour. Unfortunately, I got phone calls while I was there. One of them was about a job. And actually 2 of them were about jobs, one of which was a contract position, which I wasn't interested in. I only want a permanent position. And then I had a friend from high school message me who was interested in how my recovery from bariatric surgery was going. It's going well, by the way. Same report as last week. I'm doing fine. I have an appointment in November, the first or second week in November. I have an appointment where I have to go up to the hospital and see my surgeon, or the PA at the surgeon's office, and the nurse. So that'll be good. Not too much else going on. A couple people in the hospital. My neighbor is in the hospital, and so is a family member in the extended family. I won't go into too much detail because it's not my story to tell. But if you can kind of keep those people in your prayers, or send some good vibes, that would be good. That would be excellent. They're both males. I can tell you that. But I won't tell you more than that because you don't need to know the specifics. Let's see. Getting ready for the annual Halloween party at my friend's house. I have a close friend named, she is Minuet Knitter on Ravelry. She is a close friend, lives in the same town where I do, hosts a beautiful bash every year for adults of a Halloween party. It's going to be the weekend after Halloween, because the weekend before Halloween is field band championships, which her daughter is in. And we're not having an adult party the day of field band championships. That just wouldn't work out. Too much to do. So I'm going to be a butterfly this year. I'm just going to wear a black t-shirt and black leggings. And then I got a costume for about $15 from Amazon that has cloth wings. And it has like a little loop that you put around your hands on either end of the wing. And then it has like a bow that you put around your neck. You like tie a bow around your neck, and that holds the back of the wings up, and they go down like this, and it makes a V, or a triangle, I should say. So it's a triangle of wings, and then there's antennae that are on a hairband, and then there are butterfly clips that go in your hair too. So I am going to wear that costume. Last year I went as apple pie, or sorry, not as apple pie, as pumpkin pie. I had a t-shirt that had a pumpkin on it, like a decorated pumpkin on it. And I took a piece of tape and I wrote the pie symbol on it, like for math. And I went as pumpkin pie. It was the simplest costume I could come up with. And it was comfortable, and I still wear the t-shirt, although the t-shirt is a lot looser this year because I've lost over 50 pounds since January. I will continue to lose weight because I am on a high protein diet. I try and get out and take a walk every day. I should be exercising more than I do. I can say that. So I might have to vamp up my exercise a little bit. And this is coming along pretty good. You can see all the different colors that are in there. I'll hold this closer. And like I said, I'm using a size K hook. I'm going to be doing baby blankets probably for the rest of the month, because I have so much Premier Puzzle to go through, and the head of the chapter for Project Linus put out a call for baby blankets specifically. So I can do that. You know, I can do the corner to corner blanket. It's going to be boring for you because the WiP sessions will be corner to corner blankets. But I can do those and talk at the same time without really worrying too much about it. I do have to look down at my stitches, which is why I'm not looking at you the entire time. With knitting, I don't have to look down at my stitches pretty much. I can just knit and watch TV if I need to. Let's see what else. There's not too much else to say. I've given you kind of a little update on my life. The trees are changing around here. Gorgeous. The light is coming through the trees today, so they look really bright. You know, it will get cold soon, I'm sure. I've already had to turn the heat on last week because last week was a rainy, cold week. It was in the 60s during the day and 40s at night. So it was getting chilly. The house got down to 62, and that was what prompted me to turn on the heat. So I did that. So I'll take these nice days while I've got them. I may do that assessment tomorrow morning and rather than this afternoon and just go to the beach for longer. I'm not going to worry too much about it because I've got 3 days to take the assessment, so it's not like I have to take it right today, but I will take it probably tomorrow when I'm more clear-headed, because I did not get a whole lot of sleep last night. I woke up at 2:15 in the morning and was awake until 4:30 this morning, so I'm not operating on a whole lot of sleep. And I have a sweater to sew together. When I was going through some yarn and moving things, I found I had a purple Lion Brand homespun sweater that I made a couple of years ago that has one of the sleeves clipped to it with little tiny clips, like it's all set to be sewn in. And then it has one sleeve that's loose that'll be clipped in once I get the one sleeve sewn in. And then I actually found buttons for it. I didn't have thread and needle, so I ordered a sewing kit, a small sewing kit from Joann's that's on sale and had a 20 or 25% off coupon for it. So I'll have to go over to Joann's and pick that up once they pull it off the shelf. No rush for sewing on buttons, but you know, they'll get it in the next day or two and I can go pick it up. Not a big deal. And then sew on the buttons, and then I'll have a finished sweater, which would be nice. I haven't had a finished sweater in a while. I don't know what size I made. I know I made it from a plus size knits book that featured homespun yarn. I made a mitered vest out of that same book. That's long ago given away or donated. Because I had a lot of sweaters that didn't fit. I have a lot of sweaters that don't fit now. I have t-shirt sweaters that would fit me now, short sleeve, that I made probably 10 years ago when I was a lighter weight than when I started in January. Most of the sweaters I was making were 4X. I think this one is a 3X, which would be the size I am now. They're expecting me to get down to an extra large eventually. That's going to probably take a year. You don't lose all the weight right away. You stay on the diet, you lose weight. You know, you have plateaus. There are, you know, things that go on. So I'm going to make it. It's going to be good. Thanksgiving will be interesting because Thanksgiving I can just eat turkey and some vegetables. I'll probably have turkey and green bean casserole because I can eat about, I'll be able to eat about 4 ounces of protein by the time that comes along. I think I'm going to stop now with the WiP session because we are about 33 minutes in. If you've had your WiP from the beginning, great for you. Otherwise, I will probably see you next week. Like I said, it'll probably be a corner-to-corner WiP session with a different color because this will get done in a couple of days, maybe 3 days. And I hope that you have a lovely afternoon and you have a great day. And if it is nice where you are, please get out and take a little walk. And I hope that you have a lovely day and a lovely week. And remember to craft something because it is good for your mental health. Bye-bye.